Alrighty, welcome back everyone. Today I want to go ahead and talk about some of the categories in this game. With Dokkan, there are a lot of categories that the game has to offer, and obviously some are going to be better than others, which is why today I want to go ahead and share with you guys 7 categories that I believe need a lot of love by the end of this year. Hopefully you guys will enjoy the vid. If you do, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, show your support. We are on the road to 1K subs, so you guys can help us get closer to that goal every day of the week. Also, comment down below your thoughts. Let me know, of all of the categories that currently exist in the game right now, what is that one category that you would love to see get a massive fat buff by the end of 2025? Let's go ahead and get started. Now, of the 7 categories I want to talk about, I will say there is no particular order when it comes to the 7 in terms of like which one I want to see get a buff first. But the one that I want to talk about right away, because I see it right here, is Future Saga. Now, I think this one is kind of obvious for a lot of people because Future Saga, like, obviously there's a lot of cool badass characters within the arc itself. I mean, you have Vegeta and Trunks, you have the blue duo right here, We Saiyans Have No Limits, who confuse into Vegito Blue, you have Future Gohan for all the Future Gohan fans out there, you have Goku Black, you have Zamasu, you have the androids of course, you have Trunks, you have Mai of course if you like Mai. But the thing is, this category has a lot of cool characters, and yet none of these characters are that dominant to the point where this category can be good. In fact, if you're trying to use this category to beat any sort of really hard content right now, you are trying to intentionally engage in pain as far as I can tell, because it is really tough to beat any sort of hard content nowadays with this specific category, with a team that has to offer and everything. It is just so rough. Now, you can beat some content in the game, don't get me wrong. Some of the older Red Zone stages you can beat with a Future Saga team, but the newer stuff from like 9th anniversary onwards, especially the 10th anniversary content, that is almost impossible, I feel like, with a team like this. So this category needs a lot of love. There are so many cool moments and characters to pick and choose from for this. I know a lot of people are looking at 2 potential EZAs to make this a lot better with the Tech Androids and Vegeta and Trunks. Those 2 are due for EZAs. They can be really good with their EZAs, so I mean, in that respect, maybe those 2 could be the saviors of Future Saga for now. But other than that, this category needs something. It needs new characters, it needs a whole new kind of sequence of operations and everything. Something needs to change for this category to be a lot better, because you're talking about Future Saga, this includes characters from like the Dragon Ball Super Trunks arc, as well as the Cell Saga Future Saga arc, right? So there's so many different characters that can come and exist in terms of this, that really, I mean, this should be a lot better than what it is right now. I'm sure there will be some buffs to this in the very near future, if not by next year, but still, this is a category that definitely needs some love by the end of this year, at minimum, in my opinion. Now, the second one I want to talk about, if I can go ahead and find them, is the Earthlings category. This is a bit of an interesting choice, I'm sure, for some, but I mean, when we think about it, Earthlings is definitely a category that it needs something to kind of bring it together, similar to Future Saga, but to a lesser degree, because Earthlings, like, let's be fair, I mean, like, Future Saga has a lot of cool characters, good guys and bad guys. Earthlings, yes, there's some cool characters, some fan favorites like Krillin and Bulma and Tien, but really, all the really hyped characters that a lot of people maybe gravitate towards Dragon Ball 4, they're not necessarily going to be in this category compared to maybe Future Saga, like Trunks and your Gokus and your Vegetas, right? So that's something we have to consider, of course, but still at the same time, this category has been seeing certain types of buffs here and there, like for example with the 10th anniversary side banner Hercule and everything. You had Roshi last year at the side banner Bulma and everything, so there are certain things that make this category potentially decent. Obviously you have like the free-to-play Saiyan Day team, or not the Saiyan Day team, but the Saiyan Saga team with like Tien and Chaozu and them. But, you know, this category still needs something. In my opinion, the biggest thing it needs, really, is just a new Dokkan Fest Earthling lead. I know a lot of people are saying, give us Tien. I think Tien would be a fantastic choice for this category. Give us a new Tien, make him a leader for this category that is actually a really good leader for the category, and then also just give us some new characters, give us some new versions of these fan-favorite characters for a lot of people, because I think in the grand scheme of things, this would be a very nice kind of category to see get a bit of a buff sometime at this point in this year, because I mean, honestly, I feel like it's kind of due in certain aspects, right? So Earthlings definitely a category that I would love to see get a bit of a boost in that regard. Now, next up, right below it, is going to be the Androids category. So Androids, I feel like this is one of those categories that people look at in, like, if you look at this category, you're like, yeah, this category needs love, but at the same time, you already can look at some of the options for this category and see that this category has opportunities to get a lot of love in the near future. I mean, obviously, we have Gamma 2 right here, Gamma 1. Those 2 are really fun characters who are due for EZA sometime this year, ideally, so they could boost this category. Of course, you have Cell right here from the Golden Week celebration for the 7th year. He is going to be an opportunity kind of character that can make this category a lot better as well. You have the Tech Androids. There are characters in this category that are due for EZAs that can really make this category all of a sudden really, really good. However, at the same time, we have to consider the fact that, you know, some of the better characters right now don't necessarily want to run in this team themselves. Like, if we look at Cell Max, right? Like, Cell Max, I have been against Cellmax in a very specific kind of aspect throughout any time I look at him, which is his categorical limitations, right? You want to run him with artificial life forms, super bosses, or movie bosses. Those are great categories, but he doesn't want to necessarily work with specifically an android's team. And when you look at the androids category, you're like, hey, this category could use some love, what could help it out? Cellmax, you look at him, you're like, hey, maybe he could be an option? No, he cannot. Not really. You can make him work sort of, but not in the way that you need him to. So really, this category needs some love in my opinion. I think this category is going to get a lot of buffs in this year, don't get me wrong, but I think at this point in time right now, it is definitely a category that is hurting a lot of Android fans out there. They are not enjoying this category, I will say that. So, I mean, it is tough, but I think this category is going to see a lot of love. We'll just have to kind of wait and see in that respect. Next up, Wicked Bloodline. You'll see a lot of them are kind of like in the earlier kind of sections right there, but Wicked Bloodline is one of those categories where I will say, like, as of the 10th anniversary, this is a category that is having the potential for a very good kind of setup throughout the rest of this year, because with the 10th anniversary, right, going into the 10th anniversary, this category was in shambles. It was terrible. But with the 10th anniversary, you got the full power Frieza EZA, who is a very powerful character, especially in Slot 1, so that's a very powerful character right there. Also mean, besides him, you have the 10th anniversary Go Frieza. Now, I know a lot of people don't like Go Frieza as a unit. I am not a big fan of the character design because a lot of people will know the first part of the unit, which is Frieza, is kind of iffy. Goku's the better part, but the fact of the matter is, with Go Frieza, with Full Power Frieza, you have two units who are kind of good in a lot of content right now at bare minimum, and they are the stepping stones for what could be a very powerful Wicked Bloodline team by the end of this year. A lot of people are anticipating the EZAs for like the STR Final Form LR Cooler right there for Metal Cooler, so if we get the EZAs for them, if we're getting the EZA for Golden Frieza right here, this category could become very top heavy, but it also could be very powerful. And also, one character who I am kind of looking at saying maybe he could eat off of this is Frieza. Frieza, this Dokkan Fist Frieza from last year, he has just been in shambles. He has just been suffering. But if the Wicked Bloodline team could come together, maybe that'll be the opportunity the Frieza needs to finally see some love on his side of things. Now, to be fair, on the flip side of that, I think it may be a bit too late for him, but we can hope, right? So there's that. Also, we do have the free-to-play quest mode of Frieza and Cooler. I don't remember if they're meant to be an LR like the AGL Bardock LR who is out right now, but if they are going to be an LR, they could be pretty good, of course. But even if they are TORs right now, and that's going to be it, they're still a pretty decent unit when we look at them, right? Because they, of course, can stack attack right here with their basic 12 key right here, so they got some good stuff going for them there. Obviously, you know, when you go into Cooler, he's able to do attack and defense raising for 4 turns. They got some good stuff there in general, so I think in a certain sense, this category is one of those categories that is going to see probably one of the best glow-ups throughout this entire year. It's just, at the time being, this category has a few stepping stones, and that's it. It needs more. It needs something to tie it together, probably a new leader. Let's be honest, it needs a new leader for this category. Maybe Metal Cooler could be the better lead, but still, it needs something to make it a lot better than what it is. So, Wicked Bloodline, definitely on the list for me. Now, if we keep on going down, I know I had one class right here. There we go. So we have low class warrior. So low class warrior, accidentally, I meant to put it like a separate tab. I'll just leave it here for now. Low class warrior, the thing about them is that this is a category that has seen a couple buffs in terms of the same day celebration. You have the AGL LR Bardock, you have the same day Kid Goku, and yet despite that, this category is not really all together, right? It's kind of similar to a lot of these other categories when we talk about it, where, like Wicked Bloodline, you have some good stepping stones, but the team has not come together quite yet. Androids, we have the potential for some really good kind of stepping stones with the Gammas and their EZAs, but they have not come together quite yet. Earthlings, you have some okay characters, I guess, like, for example, Grandpa Gohan, the Kid Chi-Chi right here, the Sideband or Hercule right there, but still this category has not come together. The same can be said for low-class warrior, because AGL Bardock, he's pretty good. For a lot of people, he's really awesome, actually. You have the Kid Goku, who's one of, if not the best TORs in the game right now. Of course, you have Kid Goku with the Path to Power Kid Goku. He's really good as a support character, so all those things are really good. But besides them, you're still looking at characters who need some support, like, for example, Physical Raditz. I'm not gonna lie. If Physical Raditz can come into the game with his EZA and become one of the GOATs for this whole kind of team, this is going to be one of the greatest years, in my opinion, for Dokkan. Just me, in terms of bias right there, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be in love if we get some insane Raditz EZAs. Because I know people talk about Chaditz and make fun of him and stuff, and there's all sorts of jokes about him. But if Raditz can be the one to bring the low-class warriors together, that would be hilarious to me. That would be actually hilarious. But I mean, this category does need some love. To be fair, this is one of those categories that I think a lot of people don't really look at because it's just a few, like, random Saiyans in a sense, right? Like, you're talking about Bardock, you're talking about Goku, you're talking about Raditz and Turles and the Team Bardock characters, and that's really it. Like, there's not really a wide variety of Saiyans who fit into the quote-unquote low-class warrior kind of title. But, you know, at the same time, I think this is one of those categories that you already got a good start with Bardock, with Kid Goku, with the Path to Power Kid Goku. That's 3 characters. If we can get maybe 2 or 3 more characters, one who can lead this category, I think we could see this being a really good option. I mean, the AGL Bardock right here, he's okay. I mean, he's able to, like, with his EZA, which is not showing up right here, but if I can go ahead and get his EZA to show up here, he's able to boost himself pretty nicely with low-class warriors, so he could work as an option, but still, you need some other options to really make this team come together. That's what I'm going to say right there. So I think there are some good opportunities in that respect when it comes to the low-class warrior category. Hopefully this category can come together, because it's not high on my list in terms of categories I want to see get a glow up, but at the same time, it is definitely up there. Like, it's not the first one I want to see get a boost, but I do want to see something come out of this category by the end of this year for sure, with the way it's been starting off with the Sand Day celebration and everything in that respect. Alright, so we keep on going back here, so let me go ahead and fix this right here. Let me go ahead and pull up the low-class war thing. So, all that's been kind of explained and everything. There is still one other category. Actually, no, wait, let me count here. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was trying to count the categories that I still have left to talk about, but we still have 2 more categories to talk about. Now, the final 2 categories that I want to talk about, if I can just find which one of them. There was one here that I knew I was looking at. I just couldn't find it here. It's somewhere here if I can find it. Future Saga, no, not. Oh, there we go. That's what I was thinking of. I was thinking of Shadow Dragon because I was thinking of GT Bosses. Now, GT Bosses, I apologize for forgetting about that, but GT Bosses is a category that absolutely needs a buff. Like, this is one of those categories that is just a joke. Like, let's be honest, GT Bosses has been a joke maybe for the entirety of its existence. Like, I have to think back and really focus to remember a time where GT Bosses as an individual category was decent to respectable, because other than that, for the most part, this category is just a joke. You get one GT Bosses buff, and then you move on throughout the rest of your life. Like, that's really what this category is like, and it sucks, because for GT fans, like, yes, we all love the GT hero side of the category with the Super Saiyan 4s, with all those characters, the fusions and everything, but GT Bosses has some cool characters too. You have Baby, you have Super 17, who I know a lot of people don't like Super 17 as a character, but still, as in terms of, like, the super animations and all that other stuff, this character is kind of cool in that respect. Also, of course, you have Omega Shenron. Come on, Omega Shenron, you gotta put respect on Omega Shenron specifically. If you don't like the Shadow Dragon Saga, that's okay, but Omega Shenron was one of the highlights of that arc, right? So, I mean, this category has some really good opportunities. It just needs something, again, to bring it together. And I think the biggest thing is probably going to be something to just kind of connect the dots. Like, we need GT boss buffs to come at the same time. I think that's really what the issue is that you get some good characters like the Carnival Omega Shenron, you get like Super 17 with with his potential EZA coming soon. You have all these opportunities, they just don't line up. We need this category to get a bunch of buffs at the same time, kind of similar to what Special Pose got last year, because if you remember last year, right, Special Pose, if I can go ahead and find that category real quick, Special Pose got a bunch of buffs, all kind of at the same time, because you started off with Topo, then you had the in Topo sub EZA, you had Ginyu right here, who was meant to work with the Special Pose team, you had Gotenks right here near the end of the year, but during that time, during April, right, you had them, you of course had the Int Gotenks EZA, you had the Tech Gotenks Super EZA, so all those things were kind of happening at the same time, which made this category really good all at once. So in that respect, I think the same thing needs to happen for GT Bosses, because when that happens, then GT Bosses can look at least like a semi-decent category. I don't think it's going to be a top-level category, but at least make it look good, right? Like, make it look alright. Like, that's at minimum what I'm asking for. I don't think that's too much to ask for, right? But that's just me. Alright, the last category, I was trying to remember what the other one was, now I remember what it was. The final one is going to be Time Travelers. Now, to be fair, this one kind of works in tandem with the Future Saga to a degree, because a lot of those Future Saga characters like Vegito Blue and Trunks, they also did time traveling, right? So they kind of fit in both molds. However, Time Travelers also kind of boasts a lot of different other characters as well. Obviously, for example, you see your Fuse right there, you see your Super Dragon Ball Heroes kind of characters, you see Bojack, you see Demon King Piccolo, who I forgot that he was technically a time traveler, but he has been a part of that category, of course, so you see him. You see, of course, Bardock, the AGL Bardock right there. There's a bunch of different characters. Daima Vegeta technically is a time traveler, as well as Daima Goku, so I mean, obviously, one thing that kind of speaks to me now that I see them and remember them is Daima. Daima is one of those categories that when you get more Daima characters, which we're gonna get more Daima characters, when they come in, Time Travelers is gonna be one of those categories that is gonna see a massive indirect buff because of that. Because obviously, we know, we're still waiting for Super Saiyan 4 Daima Goku, we're still waiting for adult Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, adult Goku in that sense with the Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, we're still waiting for those kind of characters, right? So, I mean, in that respect, we still have a lot to look forward to for Daima-specific kind of characters, and they can translate into this. So, in that respect, I think Time Travelers is one of those categories that needs some love. Again, it's one of those categories that there are cool characters, but for the most part, it's not coming together. I think it will get an indirect buff sometime this year, probably through Daima, if nothing else, but yeah. this is one of those categories that I am very hopeful for in terms of seeing a massive buff, because there are some cool characters on it. I would love to see this category become a category that is very usable in the grand scheme of the game at the bare minimum. But there you go, so those are the 7 categories I would like to see buffs. Again, to reiterate, Future Saga, Earthlings, Androids, Wicked Bloodline, Low Class Warrior, GT Bosses, especially GT Bosses, and Time Travelers. So those are my 7, but let me know what is that category again for you guys in the comments down below that you would love to see get a massive buff by the end of this year in 2025, whether that's a category that's already pretty good or if it's a category that is kind of niche and no one really talks about it. Let me know what that category is for you guys. If you guys enjoyed the vid, again, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, show your support, comment down below your thoughts. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, stay blessed, and I will see you all in the next one.